just like this. All right, put the lid on quick, Rowie.
These roly-polies are adorable.
And then I'm going to hold it up to the light, and I can notice that this is absolutely wriggling with life. Tiny flies, moths, grasshoppers. And once we're done with them, what we simply do, take the lid off and let them go. They're flying out. And those that are a bit lazy, we'll just put them down the grass with the rest of the leaf litter and let them go on their merry way. So I've chosen this spot to put in our pitfall trap. There's lots of mulch, which is beautiful habitat for lots of the mini beasts. In the garden bed, the soil's soft, and because we're scraping the mulch back, it also gives us an opportunity for a bit more of that safari. So just scrape it aside, just to get some bare earth, and then we're going to dig a hole. That's the depth of this cup. And all we do is we place the pitfall trap in, and I like to place it to the height of the soil, and that way any little cockroaches, beetles, slaters, if they walk past, they can drop in. Very importantly is I put a little bit of leaf litter in the bottom just to make sure if they are in there, they're not exposed and going to be eaten by any little birds. And I don't leave the pitfall traps in too long. Really mindful if the rain's coming, because you wouldn't want them to drown. So often I'll just poke a few holes in the very bottom, little pinholes. You spread the mulch around, maybe leave it overnight, and come back a little bit later and see what's in there. I'll just make sure there's not a ladder. Pull the trap out, just grab it. Yep, perfect. What can you see in there? All right, so we tip it around. Guess what's in here?
Roly-polies! Yeah!
Why don't we put it in the other container and look at it a bit closer later? Bob, do you want to give it to your sister? Yeah, you're a good brother.
We can share.
Now the trusty spray bottle is really good at illuminating the spider's webs, especially when there's a bit of sun. I wouldn't do it on an overcast day. And you spray it over a bush and it reveals to you how many spiders are living on these bushes. Now these are often very tiny spiders, they're harmless, and really they're eating mosquitoes, so they're probably good to have around. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is. There's a tiny little spider in the centre there. Spray. How pretty does that look? So this is the light trap, and I love setting up light traps when I'm doing a backyard safari. The great thing about them is they reveal so much life that you don't expect to see living in your garden. I'm going to have all sorts of insects come towards this light, everything from beetles, tiny little wasps, and lots of moths. You don't actually have to set up a light like this. You can hang around a floodlight. Floodlights attract lots of insects, and it's actually a really big problem. You see, light pollution is catching so many of our insects. So it's always important, after you're done with it, you turn it off so they can go on their merry way and don't get stuck on the light and don't become food for everything else, because don't forget, insects are the base of the food chain. Look at this moth down here. How pretty is that? Come and look, Neil, down here, look at this. Look at that moth.
Why is he flying away?
So these moths have all been attracted to the light.
Look at all the bugs. I just want to see the top of that tree.
Should we keep searching, kids?
Yeah. It's definitely a good idea we have torches.
You know something? I've been leading night tours around Sydney for a very long time because there's so much to be discovered. Getting a group, a family group, a heap of kids out into the bush at night is great. Being in the dark is such a nice experience, a different experience. It's always exciting. But there are a few things that I'm always thinking about before I get out there. First of all, before I do a night tour, I do a bit of a reconnaissance. I want to make sure I know where I'm walking in the dark because you don't want to be tripping over stuff. You don't want to find any obstacles that could be a bit dangerous. So having a good understanding of the wilderness is really important. But it also gives me a really good opportunity to think about where I'm going to see wildlife. So when I'm in the day, I'm looking for things like the scratch marks on trees or maybe some of that poo, the scats, because that's a spot that I'm going to want to come back to later and look for things like possums, tawny frogmouths and frogs. There's a lot that you can discover. Now, a couple of really important points though. Before you do a night tour, make sure you're really appropriately dressed. You want good sturdy footwear, and if it's cold, you need jumpers. And maybe some insect repellent because nobody likes mosquito bites. The other thing you want to think about, I really don't want to give the animals a hard time. So something I'm always using is a red cap on the end of my torches. So if I see a brush-tailed possum, a sugar glider or a tawny frogmouth with my group of kids, the main thing is we can observe these animals without disturbing them too much. Now, use your ears. If you hear a sound, listen for it. Bring the torch up to where you hear the noise. There's a good chance you're going to observe something. Don't just focus up in the trees, look at the ground. And I'll tell you one thing, insects look fantastic at night. And there's one trick I'm going to tell you. If you want to observe stuff, I'm always wearing the head torch. The head torch is great because if you see something like a frog or a wolf spider on the ground, is that their eyes are going to shine directly back at you. Every single one of those diamonds is a little wolf spider. Get out there, have a sense of adventure, and I know you're going to love it. All right, kids, let's go look for a frog.